Hello everybody, Looking for Life here, bringing guys a brand new video. Sorry about the sporadic uploads as of late. I school, work, and finally getting sick. Just have all just kind of thrown a wrench into my wanting to do an upload schedule. But oh well, that's why I don't want to do upload schedules. But I still want to try and at least get at least 2 to 3 videos out a week. But anyway, so ban list season is upon us, and the ban list should be out within the next week or two, hopefully sooner rather than later. I've really slowed down on the deck profiles because I don't know what's going to happen with this ban list. Now, granted, a lot of things are probably going to happen. Zoo is probably going to get hit, hopefully at least. I saw Davinator's video, and his video put some fear into my heart because he brought up some really good points. Anyway, so rather than doing the obligatory ban list prediction video, I want to talk about 10 cards that I personally could see coming off, that I personally think could come off, and I want to give my own personal reasons why. If I cough during this video, it's because I'm still sick. So yeah, I'm apologizing in advance. Anyway, so let's get on with this. At number 10, we have number... I almost called him a number. He's honestly good enough to where he could be a number. Evilswarm Exciton Knight. He's a rank 4. He was a fearsome, scary dude for a long time. Because you always had to keep him in the back of your mind whenever you were making your boards. You had to have an out to him. And the fact of this thing, that any rank 4 oriented deck could just churn them out, and then, oh hey, they're in a losing position, nuke the entire board, and then do it again during your battle phase. This card is really, really, really good. And I don't really get why it ever got banned. Okay? I think Konami just really, really, really hates like board wipes that are monsters, because Judgment Dragon, Black Rose Dragon, and Evilswarm Exciton Knight, all three of the big board wipe monsters, have all been hit in one way or the other. Black Rose was limited for a time. I think Judgment Dragon was as well. And then Evilswarm Exciton Knight, he just got straight up banned because people were only playing one of them anyways. So it's really, really intriguing to see how they did that. And I really think that he could come back. He really probably should have came back a while ago, because if he had come back sooner, I think Zoo would not have been as big of a problem, because Zoo would not be able to make as big of a board without having to worry about Exciton Knight. And oh yeah, sure, yeah, sure, they can pop it with freaking Trident, but well, the Exciton Knight's a quick effect. So this card, he helps kind of curb those super powerful decks out there. And since he just got reprinted, that can also get more people to go out and buy Battles of Legends, because it's a pretty cheap set and he's not hard to pull in that set at all. So then lower budget players can easily get a hold of one and help give them a bolster to their lower tier decks that they maybe can't afford for the bigger ones. Another big thing I want to bring up is that unless you have a Link monster out, he takes up your 1 extra zone. And while yes, he's a really good monster, once he uses up his Xyz materials, he's just a 1900 beater. Now granted, you can use him for a Link summon and stuff like that, so I don't know, like, he's just really... He comes out and he just kind of sits there and takes up your space. Then again, almost every other Link Xyz monster does that. But anyways, I feel like Exciton Knight could come back, at least at 1. I mean, granted, you could put him at 3 and everyone will just play him out with 1 as anyways. But anyways, I still think that he could come back. He helps curb more powerful, super fast decks, and would help really, really deal with decks like Zodiac and other things like that. Now, granted, if Zoo gets hit, we're gonna go back into ABC format, and I'm not looking forward to that. But anything's better than Zoo format. Number 9, Pot of Avarice. So I'm gonna be honest, I always hated it that this card got banned, because it really, really, this card helps out a lot of lower tier decks. Granted, it also helps out bigger tier decks and everything. It puts your stuff back in the deck and gets you 2 draws, which is always nice. But the big thing about why I think that this card could come back is because it gives a big boost to Link focused decks. All the Link decks that we know of, like Link focused archetypes, at least the big ones, Crawlers, Rolled Chalice, to an extent, yeah, Goki as well, although Goki, they have only like 4 or 5 monsters, and then good old Cybers, they all burn through their main deck and their hand so incredibly fast, and Pot of Avarice would give those decks a big boost. It'd be really, really helpful to those decks, and it would really push more link focused decks out there. Kind of like how I also feel like that if Konami really wants to like push World Chalice, they should put like Rescue Rabbit to 2. But that's not going to be on this list because Rescue Rabbit's at 1, so yeah. Now then, the card also does require a grave setup, 5 monsters in the graveyard. I know that sounds super easy, but some decks have a harder time than others to get that in there, and then other decks just can get everything in the grave super fast. But either way, I still feel like Pot of Avarice could come back to as 1. If anything else, just simply to see how it would do. If it would really be that big of an impact, I don't really think it would. It'd help out, and it would just be a really nice support card for a lot of decks to kind of try and recur, and hopefully make a comeback after a really bad play or something. Next up, we got good old Wavering Eyes. Wavering Eyes is an intriguing card. This card is so stupid powerful, but it's only really good at multiples above 1. I mean, because, yeah, sure, you have that chance of drawing it, but if you have multiples, not only do you get that first draw of it, but then you can add another copy of it from your deck to your hand, and then you can do it again. This card would really help out Pendulums right now. Pendulums are in a weird spot, with the only really good Pendulum deck, or heck, really even playable Pendulum deck right now, being good old Pendulum Magicians. And this card would help out a lot of the lower Pendulum decks. It just helped them get going and everything, searching out more stuff. Now, granted, you're not going to get the bigger than 2 effect very often anymore, because no one's playing Pendulums, unless you're playing Pendulum Magicians, which some people are. It's a nice little rogue deck. But, however, even then, a lot of players just aren't playing Pendulums in general, and Konami's only just recently confirmed that there's going to be another Pendulum archetype in Extreme Force, which is 6 months out, at the very least. Actually, probably more like 8 months, since I think, yeah, Circuit Breaker's coming out in November, so yeah, 8 months or so, give or take. So yeah, it's going to be a while before Pendulums get even relatively noticeable again. And granted, we don't know anything about Mythical Beasts, so who knows if they'll be good or not for this card. Anyways, I feel like if this card came back to 1, it wouldn't be a big deal. It'll just be a nice little 500 bonus damage, and oh hey, getting to search a Pendulum monster from your deck to your hand. That's really the big thing, though. It'd just be another search card for Pendulum decks, and they need every bit now, so yeah. Anyways, next up, number 7, Gateway of the 6. So, I personally, I hate 6 Samurai, okay? I like playing the deck, but I hate going against it. Just annoys the ever-living hell out of me. But I cannot deny the fact that 6 Samurais have been power creeped to all hell, and even with the new stuff from the new set coming out in, I think, a month or 2, I can't remember, Duelist Pack, Spirit Boost, Spirit Warrior, something like that. Even with that new support, which only really like 2 cards of that new support is good, 6 Samurais are still not going to be doing anything. Now, granted, 6 Samurais are a big fan favorite deck, and Konami loves to milk freaking nostalgia. Let's be honest. They're gonna, if they do bring this card back, it'll literally just because they want to boost even more sales for Spirit Warriors. Now, granted, Spirit Warriors is already going to sell really well because of Magic Bullets, or, sorry, Mystical Musketeers, or I can't even remember what it's called now. Magical Musketeers, something like that. But, however, this card would help boost it even more, because there's a lot of dedicated 6 Sam players, and people love their 6 Sams. And if this card came back, 6 Sams would actually be somewhat maybe competitively viable. I cannot say that for some reason. And the big reason is because this card, with its special summon effect and everything, would give the deck an even more of a combo extender to be able to make like something like Mrs. Radiant or any other Link 2 or Link 3 that can open up more zones so that they can make Nat Beast and Barkion, or Nat Beast and a Xian, as it probably would be nowadays. Or heck, just double Nat Beast, because, hey, why not just make your opponent hate their life? And then we got number 6, and this is where I feel like it's going to get really controversial. Shurit, Strategist of his Nekroz. So, personally, I never really hated Nekroz. I like the deck, actually. But Shurit, I feel like, was a bit of an overkill with the deck. They already hit all of everything else. Shurit only probably needed to be limited. And even then, I feel like that would have been still a little bit of an overkill. The deck is currently just about unplayable, and yeah, they introduced the 2 new Nekroz cards. Oh, wait, no, 1 new Nekroz card. in order to try and, you know, push Nekroz a bit more, you know, trying to be like, hey, look at this, it can pretend to be Shurit, kind of. You know, I think it was Ariel or something. Yeah, I think it was Ariel that they brought back as a Nekroz with like the effect to alter her level and stuff, which just is not good. And Shurit, he just fills out everything for the deck. He counts as a full tribute, and yeah, sure, you can play the Gishki water monsters, the Gishki tribute fodder, because they count as full tribute for any water ritual, but that's still not good. You want to play Shurit. He's searchable, he's a level 3 warrior, you can search him off of Rhoda, and then he can grab a Nekroz warrior ritual monster from deck to hand whenever he's tributed. This card is just really good in general, and without it, the deck is darn near unplayable. I feel like he could really just come back at 1, maybe even 2, and the deck still wouldn't do anything, so long as Brio and Unicorn still hit to 1. So, I don't know, maybe I'm in the minority. Maybe it's because I never grew a foster of hatred for this deck. But that's my general opinion. Then number 5, Heavy Storm, and I know I only have 1 point on here, but I have more to say about it than anything else. Heavy Storm is one of the big 3 spell cards that constantly rotates on and off the ban list. That, of course, being Heavy Storm, Dark Hole, and Monster Reborn. And I feel like out of all those 3, I mean, we already have Dark Hole at 2. Heavy Storm would be really, really nice right now, because as of right now, we see a lot of heavy back row decks, and Heavy Storm would really discourage that. And especially against like True Dracos and stuff, because let's be honest, even if Masterpiece and Dragonic Diagram get hit to 1, the deck's still going to be played a lot. And this card would really discourage those heavy back row decks and get rid of all of your opponent's True Draco spell and trap cards, and then, oh hey, you can do it before doing anything else. You won't have to worry about getting 1-for-1 popped every time for every card you destroyed. And then also it'd really discourage heavy back row decks, and it'd make those people who do want to play heavy back row have to think more about it, because I remember very much so that whenever Heavy Storm was around, people would have to like really think, okay, I want to play a lot of back row, but I gotta play like Royal Oppression, or no, not Royal Oppression, the Counter Trap that's like part of that whole Royal series. I can't remember its name right now, but that card, or Stardust, the Starlight Road, and stuff like that to try and counter Heavy Storm. They would have to be smart. It introduced more thought into deck building and stuff, and it made you not want to set as much because you don't want to get risk. You know, you don't want to risk getting Heavy Stormed and stuff. So I really feel like that Heavy Storm could come back to 1. I don't think Giant Trinade could come back to 1. Giant Trinade would allow for some FTKs and OTKs and stuff like that. We don't need that. Heavy Storm though would really be helpful. Yeah. Number 4, Construct. Okay, so let's be honest, Shaddolls, Hex Shaddolls in general, the deck has just been kind of power crept. The deck hasn't done anything in a long time. Funnily enough, I still remember when people thought Window was the best fusion, and then people were like, oh wait, we can OTK with Construct. Construct is a really awesome boss monster for the deck. It's really good, it's very powerful, but however, if you put her at 1, she's not going to be so overpowered that the deck is going to be tier 0 or tier 1 or anything. And also, Lynx came out, so you can't spam out triple Construct super easy and attack for a like super mega game. So, with that being said, Construct really could come back. I don't think that it would be too oppressive if it were to come back. It'd just be a really nice, helpful boost to Shaddolls, a deck that really hasn't been able to do much nowadays because of Lynx and just being power crept in general. I mean, like, heck, you could put her to 1 and she'll be fine. And heck, maybe even put her to 2 if nothing happens. And that's why I really like the ban list idea, because you can experiment things. And I really wish Konami would take more risks and try out more things, because if they did, they'd find out that a lot more cards could come off than to go on. But anyways, that's just my opinion. Number 3. Oh, God. Number 3. Tribe-Infecting Virus. Okay, so this card, I know that like GOAT players are going to be like, no, this card is too powerful. Okay, let's be honest. It's been power creeped to all hell. It's not a quick effect. So, oh hey, you summon it, Trident pop. Okay, there goes my normal summon. Okay, you normal summon Bottomless. Okay. You know, like, see what I mean? This card is not a quick effect, and that's the big thing about it. That, and also, it needs a discard for every time that you want to pop something, and it destroys stuff on your side of the field. So let's say, for instance, you're dueling against, I don't know, Wind Witch, Eidolon artifacts. I don't know if people are. I know people are still playing decks similar to that, and they have a Crystal Wing. They have, I don't know, a freaking Mechaba, and they have, I don't know, a random Wind Witch on the field. Okay, that's a spellcaster, a warrior, if I'm no machine, because Mechaba's a machine, and they have a Crystal Wing, which probably is indestructible. So you have to get through 2 negates. And also, you have to discard 3 cards to call all 3 different typings. That's the big thing. And a lot of decks right now, with the exception of Zoo and True Dracos, I would say, have a huge mix of different typings. So you got to discard multiple cards in order to get full effect off of this. And heck, even Zoo, they usually play True Draco cards, or at least the newer versions do. So then, oh hey, you got to discard 2 to get rid of all of your opponent's Zoo monsters, and you got to discard, well, 1 to discard to get rid of all your Zoo, and then 1 to get rid of all their True Draco monsters. And even then, it won't be able to out Masterpiece, but that's beside the point. And Magic Masterpiece is not there. What I'm trying to get at is that a lot of decks have multiple monster typings now, and oftentimes all on the board. So it's really, really hard. You have to discard so much for this card. Now, do I think that it should be above 3? I mean above 1. I don't know. I mean, I've seen people talk about how this card would be really, really stupid in Mermail and stuff, and yeah, they would probably play one of it. Actually, I can guarantee they'd play one of it, but however, they still have better things that they could use, that they could discard with in order to, you know, maximize off. Anyway, so on to number 2, Super Polymerization. So, oh god, I can already hear them disc likes and people going, yeah! And hang on a second. The only reason why Super Poly, as well as also one other card on the Forbidden list, were hit was because Konami was tired of people playing freaking heroes, okay? Heroes are one of the most popular archetypes in the game. End of story, okay? Like, you cannot deny that fact. And Super Polymerization was one of the big key cards of that deck. And they hit it along with one other card, literally only because they wanted people to move on from heroes. And it's incredibly annoying. And then, whenever heroes died out, even after Mass Change and all that stuff came out and everything, people were like, oh, hey, maybe Super Poly could come back. And then people were like, no, Norden came out. And if Norden was still around, yeah, Super Poly, end of story, could not come back, because imagine your opponent has an Xyz, it was like 2 Xyz monsters out, you flip over Super Poly, discard a card, you know, use their 2 Xyz monsters, fuse into Norden, bring out something. That's too stupid, okay? But however, Norden got banned, Super Poly could totally come back. And not only that, but also this card would really help out a lot of the more recent fusion-oriented archetypes, especially, like, for instance, good old Invoked. It could help out Invoked. It could help out Shaddoll to an extent. And it could help out Predaplants and Heroes, of course. So that's 4 different fusion archetypes that this card would be a huge benefit to. Now, would it be so broken that it'd have to get banned instantly again? I really don't think so. This card is just... Ever since, like, if Lynx weren't still a thing, I would say, yeah, you probably got a point. This card can't come back. But Lynx came out, and yeah, that's very, very obnoxious. If you have something in your extra monster zone that you can't fuse with, you basically can't use your Super Poly, and then that requires you to be very, very smart about it and how you want to go about doing things. Now, with that being said, though, I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't know if there's like some sort of super gimmicky thing right now that, like, oh, Super Poly came out and break, but I really think that Super Poly could come back, and it'd be fine, at least as one at 1. Maybe it could go back to 2 or 3 later on as time goes on. But however, right now I feel like that Super Poly could go back to 1 and really just kind of test the waters, be a benefit to the current fusion archetypes that came out recently, and also just be a way to sell more of those cards. Like, seriously, Konami, like, wants money, and they, like, pushed all those fusion decks, and Super Poly would have really helped them out. Just saying. Now then, some honorable mentions before we get to number 1. Wind-Up Carriers and Mighty. I want to, if I didn't, like, top 11 lists, like the Nostalgia Critic or somebody, yeah, this card would be number 11. Okay, the big thing about Mighty. Okay, in order to bring back Mighty, you'd have to ban Hunter. Okay, because Mighty and Hunter both existing in the game at the same time results in the wind-up hand loop, which no one wants. Okay, no one wants that. Okay, I don't know how to do it, but I just know it's terrible and mean and evil, and no one wants to deal with that. So if Smighty were to come back, Hunter would have to be banned. So that's the thing. And then Chaos Emperor Dragon and Witch of the Black Forest are interesting things. Witch of the Black Forest recently got her errata. She's still banned though. She could totally come back to 3 and it wouldn't do a thing. Similar to Sangan. And then Chaos Emperor Dragon, he still hasn't gotten his errata yet for some reason in TCG. I don't get why Konami's been avoiding it, but they've missed so many opportunities to give him his errata, and they haven't done it yet. So if and whenever he gets his errata, he could come back, and he'd be fine. He wouldn't be broken or anything. He'd be a good beater, and then, oh, hey, if your opponent has a bunch of back row, use his effect instead of attacking. But either way. Now, to number 1, I think literally everybody could have guessed it, especially since I hinted at him with this number 2 spot. Elemental Hero Stratos. So, Stratos really should never have been hit, okay? He was only hit alongside Super Poly in order to get people to stop playing Heroes because Konami wanted to go and play their new stuff and buy their new product. I know so many people who, if Stratos were to come back, they would come back to the game because they love Heroes so much. And heck, I know people who came back to the game when this Heroes Starter deck came out. Okay, so people loved our Heroes. Bring back Stratos. He would do nothing. He's at 2 in the OCG. And Heroes are doing very little over there. Granted, I've heard that like Dark Law Turbo's been topping over there lately. I don't know how true that is, but that's just what I've been hearing. And Stratos would just, he could come back. There would be no issue. Nothing would happen. Heroes would not instantly be propelled to tier 0 like people say it would. No, that wouldn't happen. Also, another thing, Shadow Mist is technically better because Shadow Mist is harder to negate because when she goes to grave, you get to search rather than Stratos having to do it on summon. And there's so many different ways to stop things on the field and to summon in general to stop. Heroes have been irrelevant in TCG for a very long time now, and there's no reason to keep this card banned, considering that the deck has been irrelevant. And then finally, also, I lost my train of thought. But either way, Stratos, he really could just come back. I mean, like, honestly, there would be no reason why, okay? Now, granted, yeah, I could see why, oh, yeah, but, like, all these, no. Stratos, he could come back, nothing would have to be hit, Maui wouldn't have to go back to 2, D-Draw wouldn't have to go back to 1, nothing like that. Stratos could come back to 1, and nothing would happen to Heroes, nothing, the deck would not become tier 0, it wouldn't become such a huge threat that we'd have to, like, go, oh, we gotta ban it instantly again. And also, I kind of want just the memes to be dead, okay? I'm so tired of free Stratos, hashtag free Stratos every single freaking time that the ban list rolls around. And honestly, I think Konami's tired of it too. I mean, heck, that's one of the reasons why they freaking turned off their Twitch chat and stuff. So Konami, just do the world a favor, bring back Stratos. He really could come back. And anyways, guys, that is it for my video. What do you guys think? Do you guys disagree? Agree? Do you guys think I'm completely and totally wrong about some of these cards? Do you guys think that, that I should have brought up some other cards? What do you guys think about, like, what cards on the ban list could come back? And, I don't know, give me your reasons why. It'd be really cool. This is something that I really like about Yu-Gi-Oh! With the ban list, because it just adds so much more flexibility and everything with how the game works and all that. And I'd really, really like to see it actually be used in that way rather than just purely to push money and stuff. But anyways, guys, thank you all for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Have a great day. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. Shurit, Legend for Life. Just wanted to give a quick shout out to my 2 Patreons so far. To my 2 wonderful, wonderful Patreons, Cambrock223 and Night Zone. You guys are incredibly, incredibly awesome. And it just, I can't express my thanks enough. Thank you guys both. And I hope everybody has a great day. See y'all later. Peace out.